Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nobody is Shiftier, because in fact, nobody is shiftier than the Shifty Hippo. Now, let me give you a little bit of a backstory here, because I know nobody's heard from me for about 3 weeks. There was 1 week that work got a little bit too hectic and it didn't happen. There was a week that Zach just forgot that I did something. And, well, we're coming very late in this next week here where I am giving you something just a little bit later than I typically would. But today I am giving you a present. I am joined by fellow Breaking Down the Tape media member, breaking down the tape themselves. I've got Hector Santana. Hector, how are you doing tonight, baby?
Oh, man, I feel great. We got playoff baseball, we got basketball, we got hockey, we got football, we got all sports in one conjoined at one moment in life, all going off at the same time. It's mayhem.
You know I shit on you last week about the Aaron Judge home run thing, but here's one thing that I will tell you. In all seriousness, because I have so many fans of the Yankees within my friend group, not just Zach and you. I mean, legitimately, I have John. I've got 2 of my other boys that are Yankees fans, like diehards. All of you. I'm rooting for the Yankees to win the championship, and I feel like I never thought I would see the day that I'm over here and I'm rooting for the Yankees, and I'm like, man, all my friends are going to be happy if the Yankees win the championship.
We got a long road ahead of us. We're down 1-0. Houston has had our number. It's going to be a dogfight. I mean, I'm hoping and praying we can finally get over the hump, but we need to get over the hump. That's the only thing that matters, is that we need to get over the hump.
See, that's what I'm
glad
about,
that we
Hector.
converted you, though. I'm glad you finally realized that the good and great teams are right over here.
Oh, no. See, I will always shit on you during the regular season because I don't care about baseball. But when it comes to the postseason, let's be honest. When I don't care about the sport, all in all, I just want my boys to be happy. So I want you to be happy. I want Zach to be happy. I want John to be happy. And I want my other couple guys that are outside of this whole podcast ship that we have.
Hey, I think everyone on Breaking Down the Tape has agreed that we do not condone cheaters. And as much as people try to, say, oh, the Yankees cheated. Being one of the most known, organizations in all of sports and having just a little bit of leeway because of that does not make you a cheater. It makes you a powerful leader.
Hold up. I got one question. Why are the Yankees being accused of cheating? I haven't heard this one.
Oh, man. So, okay. I got I got the Astros and Yankees series going on right now. Like I said, I mentioned I got a buddy that's an Astros fan, born and raised over in Texas. So, we give the shit of the trash can, which is legitimate proof that they've done that.
Yeah, I know that.
They try to harp on us for the dugout kind of illegal use of the dugout telephones to communicate. Not that it was cheating, but that multiple teams were known that they were known for using the dugout phones to communicate. It was said that was illegal. Yankees was like, all right, you're going to try to say that's cheating. Let's keep that on the, Wait, you're trying to bring that to light after the fact that we brought, they're only bringing it to light after the fact that we brought out the trash can situation to try to, counteract to say that we're cheating as well.
Would it be considered illegal if they were just yelling it onto the field? What's the difference of the phone? What does that do?
So with the Yankees, that they're trying to say that we cheated was that we used the dugout cell phones to communicate and try to relay messages about potential signs. Not that we were using actual cameras, aka Houston, to decipher the codes and then use trash cans to say what we're about to throw. We were using the dugout telephone to say, hey, we think this guy's about to throw a fastball. Not we definitively know he is because he's done this motion this many fucking times, and we got that tip off, and we know he's throwing a fastball right now.
If I could throw a ball more than about 40 miles an hour, I'd be the best pitcher in the world because you wouldn't be able to tell my signs because I would just change it every time, or I would do the same thing and just throw different pitches every time. Like, I would throw everybody off in the entire MLB. And you know this about me, Hector. I'm not much of a baseball fan to begin with. Like, to me, I'm rooting for the Yankees because I want all my boys to be happy. That's what this whole thing's about. I'm very much looking forward to moving on to other sports. But when we're talking about baseball right now, I know that I want my boys to be happy. And
oh yeah, because in about like 2 episodes, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit if we're down like 3-0.
Oh, yeah. Next week, depending on how that series goes, I might not even welcome you back. I might just be like, yeah, Hector can't come.
Sounds about right.
So, Hector, another thing that I want to dish out here before we head to the NFL is that the NBA season has kicked off. And I know that not a lot of people are getting the excitement of it. Most people wait till Christmas to tune in. But in all seriousness, I got the biggest joy out of the NBA season coming back than maybe about anybody else in this world. Yeah, the Lakers and LeBron, my baby, they lost game 1. But they lost to the Warriors. Like, I will take that. That's a righteous loss. And additionally, I don't have high hopes for the Lakers this year. I really don't. I think it's going to be about the same thing as we saw last year. AD is going to get hurt at some point. The Lakers won't make the playoffs. That's fine. I can live with that. I'm just happy that LeBron is continuing to play, and I am sure that he will continue to play at one of the highest levels that the NBA has ever produced because the dude doesn't die out. He doesn't get tired. Nothing bad happens. So as long as I get that, I'm okay with everything else that happens. Have you seen anything with the beginning of the NBA season that has grabbed your eye at all? If not, that's okay.
So I'm extremely excited for the NBA season. I am a Knicks fan, you know that. Even though we just lost game 1 to the Memphis Grizzlies, who, by the way, we were like, oh, but the Knicks lost to the Grizzlies. We took them into OT, and the Grizzlies was pretty much like the 3rd best team in the Western Conference last year.
Yeah, they were.
So to take them into OT and lose by 3, I'll take that. Die hard Knicks fan. I'm super excited about this season. My thing is okay. So LeBron, yes, 20 season. We've never seen someone in all of history go 20 straight seasons at this type of level. I will give LeBron that. He's only going this long for 2 reasons. 1, he wants to play with his son, and 2, he's trying to break and will break the all-time scoring record list. Which at this point, if you're gunning for the record and you're not gunning for the chip, then you're stat padding.
Oh, and I'm okay with even having that recognition to it because to me, I mean, he's got 4 championships. He's really made his legacy at this point. The only thing he can really do to further greaten it is either by winning more championships, which, yes, I would prefer that was the method he was going. But if it's going to be,
but if your bottom line method is that, wait, I'm 4-6 in the finals. If your only method, and you're still in debate and still behind many people's eyes that you're under Jordan. If your only method to try to beat him is say, well, I'm the all-time leading point scorer, I don't think that really helps your case.
No, and I don't even necessarily disagree with you there, but I do think that there is something to being able, like when you're this close to the top, when it comes to that one category, I would play another season 2, even if I didn't want to. But you also had mentioned that he wants to play with his son, which I think is a very real thing that's going to happen. And the funny thing is I would not be shocked if you see almost every team in the NBA, granted, not the teams that are about to actually win. But if you see every Charlotte, Sacramento, the teams that are always towards the bottom, if they come out and start dishing whatever they got, and Bronny's not supposed to be one of these highly touted prospects that's going to
No,
be
he's
like
not.
a
I
top
think he's
five guy.
maybe high second round at best.
Well, that's what they're saying, but I would not be shocked if we see somebody take Bronny at like 10 because they're like, we get LeBron too. And that's something we actually have to look into. And even though for the future of that team, it might not be the thing that they should need. I mean, if you're looking at it from an ownership or a presidentship of the particular team, well, all of a sudden that becomes a lot more lucrative because you're going to sell out every seat. You get LeBron with his son. Like that becomes one of the best
You
things
get
you can ever
Bronny and
have.
you know how many advertisements you got for a Bronny Jr.? Like you got Braun and Bronny Jr. Like you know how many fucking crazy memes and logos you can come up with?
Dude, I seriously, you would see me right now.
Just game
Sacramento Kings
one of catching a picture with both of them together. It'd be mayhem.
and that's just it, Hector. It's because of fans like me who I will sit there and I'm gonna be like, you know what? He went to Sacramento. Cool. I'm buying a Sacramento LeBron jersey and I'm buying a Sacramento Bronny jersey.
Granted, LeBron James is top 3 greatest players of all time. You can debate him 1, 2, or 3, depending on who you're debating with. That's why I always put that option up. Like I would always say Michael Jordan is top 3 all time. Debating who you're debating against. What you're debating against. Huh?
Who's your 3 out of curiosity? Because I know LeBron and MJ.
So I got LeBron, MJ, and I debate on the third one from time to time. I also believe number 3 is not here yet. That's one theory I have. Number 3 on the list is not even. He hasn't even been born yet.
No, that's fair. For me, I always say that for right now, as the NBA's history's been constructed, I would go Magic Johnson. But I know that not everybody agrees with me there.
So I would go MJ, LeBron, and I'd probably. It has to be the Kareem or Magic.
Yeah, it's
like a battle because like it's two Lakers. It's 2 Lakers who are on the top of almost every list,
and they played.
It's like kind of a battle between them two.
Yeah, I feel very similarly. And the one thing that I would throw in is somewhat of a kink is that I have Wilt Chamberlain at 4. So that's my.
You know what? I have Wilt Chamberlain topping like my top 6.
Yeah. Well, I got Kobe at 6, and most people give me all the shit in the world for that. I'm like, look, I think Magic played better game. I think Kareem had the most unstoppable shot that there ever was, and he never shot 38% ever in a season. Like the guy could really.
I like a theory. One of my buddies brought up a theory. He likes. Like his thing is the top 5 of NBA should be the top 5 or the best player in every position, and then after that you can debate. So your top 5 should be a point guard, shooting guard, small forward, center, and power forward, and then after that, because that's the top, that's literally the best player in every position, and then after that you can debate.
See, the only thing I don't like about that is that means that then Tim Duncan has to be in my top 5, and I don't want Tim Duncan there.
Tim Duncan, hands down, is probably 1 or 2 best power forwards of all time.
Yeah, it's him and Karl Malone, and there is no other that's right there with them.
Oh, yeah, nope. You're right. Because number 3, I put KG.
Yeah, actually, me too. I'm with you there. I would say KG.
Yep. I thought about the KG Tim Duncan debate, and I totally forgot about Karl Malone.
Yeah, No. It's definitely Karl Malone. And the thing is, I don't think either one of them are better than, say, for example, even like Shaq or Hakeem Olajuwon.
Which is why I like but don't like the theory of putting top five being the best in each position, and then top five. It's weird. It depends on how you want to do your top five.
No,
It depends on how you. It literally all is based on opinion.
But outside of that, the like doing it that way specifically, I think that the other four positions, I think that's fair with. I just think that power forward is a really hard one to do that with, because then you start looking at it and you're like, I mean, Tim Duncan's not.
I would say
guys.
the shooting guard, power forward position are one of the hardest to kind of determine, because there's a just mass majority of players that come in either as a shooting guard or point guard, and they ended up a shooting guard because they can't be a point, or a small forward and a power forward, and you end up being a power forward because you're bigger.
No, and the other piece of that too is, I've heard a lot of people talk about the shooting guard position, and they're like, "Well, what is it truly, and who is part of that?" To me, look, I think this one's easy. You got MJ, you got Kobe, you got D Wade, and then after that, you're looking at like Ray Allen, Allen Iverson. You definitely take a downturn. However, still very great players. Reggie Miller. You got guys, but they're not the guys. We're not talking about point guard. And when everybody tries to tell me that Jerry West was a fucking shooting guard, I'm like, he ran point the entire time he was a Laker. The entire career that he had, he ran point. So don't tell me the
What's
dude
weird
was a fucking
with
shooting guard.
Allen Iverson, he actually ran point quite a lot for the 76ers, even though he's a shooting guard. Allen Iverson obviously is my favorite player of all time, so he's probably like,
what was it? Eric Snow was the point guard there.
yeah, AI single-handedly took that team to the finals against Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah, he did, and they won game one. Like that was one of the most impressive. If I had to put a mountain of things that Iverson did in his career, I think thing one would just be simply beating that Laker team.
One time, at least one time.
Once. So, Hector, with that said, we move off of the NBA. We're going to move over to the NBA or the NFL. Hector, I know that just in a few short hours, we're going to be recording, doing our Thursday night live, checking out what's going on. Also, I feel like I should give a PSA to the audience here. When I said that I haven't been here, I mentioned a couple of things going on. One of the things that did happen was I ended up in the ER, and it turned out that, well, I went there because I had blood in places that they shouldn't be. And I went there, and I just came back from a very short, more so consultation than anything else. And what they tell me is everything looks fine. We haven't gone in there yet. So I'll find out a little bit more after November 8th. That's my appointment. However, they have told me that, look, everything looks good with you. Just try not to take too many things that are going to ruin your insides. So they've given me kind of a listing of what that's going to be. I'm still going to drink this beer. That ain't going to change.
I was about to say, I guarantee alcohol is on top of the list, but like,
yeah,
cracking
they
a cold
mentioned that,
cold is like a thing now.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. We ain't cutting this out. However, I bring that over to the NFL subject. Hector, I'm going to put this out on the platform. Let's pretend like we're doing first take for a second. I'm going to be Molly.
Okay.
So, Skip, Hector, are the Jets for real? Go.
Wait, who do you want me to be? Do you want me to be
I want you to be
or
Hector.
do you want me to be Stephen A?
Oh, no. I don't give a shit which one you want to be. Or, no, I don't even want you to be either. I want you to be Hector. You know what? Let's do it this way.
Oh, this is great. I'm gonna tell you right now, Cobes. I'm going to tell you right now.
Tell me.
I had wait, what? I have said what I said.
Yeah.
The Jets are the real fucking deal. They are here. They are now. They are relevant. They are in the present and the future. And for every single one, wait. What did you know what? Because I sit and I respect and I admire a coach like this. I am taking motherfucking receipts and every single one of you bandwagoning motherfucking bitches that say the Jets are not going anywhere.
That's
I'll
me.
remember you.
6 and 8.
Fuck you! You're that Cowboys fan. They're not going to the first round.
Christy's a hater.
She said 6 and 8. Well, joke's on you. That doesn't even add up.
I was going to say the only joke is that's not enough.
Season.
Dude, Hector, the only thing that I could think of, as soon as I saw them win that last one, I was like, wow, that's a real win. That's something to like bring home and celebrate. I had them going 6-11. And I said it was going to be a very positive 6-11, but it was going to be 6-11. Now I'm like, oh, we might have
me and Zach have spoken about it, and we were saying, at worst, we got 8 wins, at best 10 or 11. According to Christie, 6 and 8. It can fluctuate. It is hit or miss. Zach Wilson needs to play better.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We are run heavy. The defense is playing top 10 defense.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it takes a complete team. And at one point, one of the 3 phases of the game are going to fail, and you're going to hope and pray that the other 2 pick you up. And as of right now, special teams and defense has been holding it the fuck down, and the offense has been great during the second half, not the first half. But hey, isn't the fourth quarter where it counts?
Yes, it does.
I think the Jets have, like I said, as long as Zach Wilson, starts to progress more and gets the receivers, because he has all the weapons in the world, there's no excuse. I'm holding him firmly accountable. No excuse. You have all the weapons in the world. As long as you make those progressive steps on the offensive side and you get the pass game involved, you have every possible chance of making the Jets not a fucking mediocre joke in the fucking NFL.
Yes. And Hector, I have to ask this as a follow-up. If Zach Wilson continues to struggle, would you be trying to opt towards getting a quarterback in this next year's draft?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's tough. I know.
No. As of right now, no. I'd feel comfortable with Joe Flacco that, maybe he plays another year. We've seen in 3 games him throw 900 yards. He was ranked top 5 QBs in the league after 3 weeks.
I don't understand that. I really don't understand that. Joe Flacco,
because he has to keep thinking. I mean, get it. It's a stat thing. It's 900 yards, not that because he's playing great, but that he has to keep throwing the ball. But we show that he can still throw the ball. So if you have the other rest of the pieces actually in flow and he's throwing like that, who knows what the fucking happened. So I'm comfortable with Joe Flacco as a backup. I will give Zach Wilson his next year, because I think after next year, now you have to go into his player option or whatever, because he was the second pick in the first round draft.
Yeah, so they will have to make that decision relatively soon. That's the only reason that I was curious if you would be, as a Jets fan, somebody that would want to move on from him already. but it sounds like you're pretty stern and steady on let's give him another year regardless. Let's figure it out, see where it goes.
I like what he shows. Like from all the QBs in my 30 years, I like what he shows. He's making progression and not throwing the ball over. It was remember this is only year 2 and he's only played 3 games. So people are like they're so desperate in the Jets to win. And granted, I am too. And we're very critical in our QBs, but we're at the point where we want our QB to be a Patty Mahomes. That year 1 we win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's just so unfair. It is just so unfair being in New York media, and we're losing so bad that we start show progression of winning just a small bit, and you're like, well, it's the QB's fault. We got to get him out of there.
No, I mean, and in all seriousness, too, you guys have to deal with looking at it within your own division with Josh Allen, who's out here balling like nobody's ever fucking seen.
Who we completely whiffed on.
Yeah, exactly. That is 100% it. There are so many teams that passed up on A, Mahomes, and B, Josh Allen, that it's like, well, I mean,
but does that mean that you have to backtrack on like some really good quarterbacks? Like AKA Jalen Hurts, who's now progressing to be a good quarterback. Lamar Jackson, who people thought should be a wide receiver, who's now being a good quarterback.
Look at my guy.
Still got flaws. But Zach Wilson is only going like literally. This is his sophomore year. He only played 10 games last season. He missed his first 4 this, and now you're saying, oh, he has to go.
No, I'm with you. I don't think that he does. And, I actually really trust the opinion of Chris Sims. And Chris Sims loves Zach Wilson. He thinks he is the best quarterback, not only of that class, but one of the best ones that's in the league right now. He said you just got to wait and see it unfold. And I keep biting in on that because I really trust that man's opinion. And I think that that's something that we may get the chance to see take place over the course of even this season as it progresses. And, like you said, Hector, I really think your defense, not just your whole defense, but specifically your secondary, it's like top 5. Which
is crazy because they were fucking last place last year.
Yeah. No, it's really good. And
it's a bunch of rookies. I mean, you got Sauce Gardner. You have Sauce Gardner. You have, and then we went out and got Joyner last year, who tore his lat game 1. He missed all last season. He came back. Whitehead from Tampa Bay stole him, and DJ Reed from Seattle, who very much well of DJ Reed. Very much well of what that man is capable of doing. And we even spoke about it. It wasn't a disrespectful leave. We didn't pay you enough. It was just like, we got outbid.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And, in all seriousness, I think that Seattle has one of the better secondaries in the league right now, too. But I am not going to overshadow like the Jets' success by this. The Jets' defensive backfield, I don't know right now if there's anything better in the NFL except if Miami is healthy. That's the only other team that I can think of if they're healthy in the backfield that I'm like, yeah, I think they're better. Other than that, the Jets are 2 as far as I'm concerned.
It's great to see a bunch of rookies come out, pan out. I mean, Sauce Gardner is the number 1. If he doesn't come out and play the way we expect him to play, he's a bust. So to see him pan out, he's either an all-pro or a bust. When you're a number 1 draft pick at a corner, you're an all-pro or you're a bust.
Oh, but you hit it, though. That's an all-pro. That man can play.
But did you guys not hit it with a 5th rounder? Like,
yes,
God
we did. Tariq Woolen is really good. And you know what? I am very proud of that part. I will not take credit away.
Seahawks have always been well at drafting corners.
It's a Pete Carroll thing. He knows how to get the guys late in the draft that he says, look, I see the talent. I can sculpt it into being everything that they don't know yet. And that's fine. For you guys, you went out and got Sauce Gardner because you said that motherfucker can shut down everybody else in the league. And you know what he's doing? He's shutting down everybody in the league. That dude can just flat out play. He came into the league knowing what this is. And he's crushing it. Like he's destroying everybody that he plays against. That's an incredible trait.
And you know what? I think for guys like Sauce Gardner, Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, these rookies, I think coming to an organization like the Jets, where they already have almost negative expectations for you, the fan base is already demoralized and they have negative expectations. You got the few still clinging on, saying that we're going to make it and we're progressing. You got all of the world saying, well, that's your career. You ain't going nowhere. And then these guys come in and they're just like, you know what? This
suit
place,
up.
all it needs is a dusting. I just realized, like, they didn't, you know what? That door over there was creaking. All it needed was some WD-40. That window right there has not got a fucking hint of Windex since 1962. So, like, if we get this shit rolling, I mean, this house is $1 million house.
Yeah, Hector, I fully agree. And, you know, it's funny, when you look at the past 20 years, the Jets haven't really done much outside of the 2 Mark Sanchez years. And this is a time where it's like, oh, wait a minute. They got a thing. Boys, they got a thing. And this is with a really tough AFC, too. I mean, you look in your own division. If the Dolphins are healthy, they're really good. The Bills are maybe the best team in the NFL. You look to the Ravens, who really beyond last week, they should be a 5-0 team going into last week. They gave up a shit loss to the Cardinals and the Dolphins, where they were up by more than 15 in both games at the end of the game. And I mean, yeah, the AFC South kind of sucks, but then if you
look at the next 4 weeks for the Jets, I mean, I'm going to put a little bit of bias into it. But if you look for the next 4 weeks for the Jets, and we're already 4-2, we could potentially, in the next 4 weeks, be 6-3, 7-3, 7-4.
Yeah, who do you guys have?
We got Denver this week coming up. I think that's a dub. I think Russell Wilson's playing so shitty and our defense is playing so well. We shut out the run and the passing game. There's absolutely nothing they can do. We smother them. They have a great defense, but I think Brees Hall gives us just enough where we beat them in a tight, close game like it's been for the Broncos all season because they got a good defense. We beat them
20-16.
Then the week after that, I believe I might be wrong. I think Tennessee, which I believe we can win that.
Yeah.
Then we have the Seahawks. No. We have the Seahawks after Denver, I believe. I think that's a 50-50 toss-up. I think both teams have been playing very well. Then we have Bills, which is a definite loss.
That's a loss. Yep. That's one I'm not
loss. And then the team after that, I think, it's either Houston or the Jaguars, which I have the Jets winning that.
Yeah, regardless, that's a win. Okay. So
the only 50-50 game, I mean, we lose to the Bills and 50-50 toss-up because it's at Seattle. I think if we're at MetLife, we trump you and I put the slight edge. But since we're in Seattle, I give Seattle the slight edge in winning that game because they're playing well.
I will say, as a Seahawks fan, I would prefer that you win that game regardless. However, what I would also say is that does actually sound to me like you're about to pick up some W's here. And I mean, if you win,
does it now sound like closer to playoffs than not, or at least a wild card?
I mean, that would make you a 7-3 team. That's now we're talking about a real team, Hector. Like that is so cool. There are so many fans of the Jets that have been around
With a bunch of
our age.
rookies,
Heck,
I'm
your
afraid to
age.
see them at year 4.
Well, see, here's the thing. The one thing I want you to keep in mind with that, Hector, when it comes to running back, those guys start to die out by that time. As sad as it is, I don't know that Brees Hall and Michael Carter are going to be the
I
same
think
guys.
Brees Hall he's something different. And I think he's one of those guys that are going to reach record books when it comes to his career. I think he has what reminds me of Brees Hall is a Frank Gore type career.
Really? I was going to say, because we haven't really seen record books since Frank Gore and Adrian Peterson. They were the
I
last
see a
two that have been
Frank
record
Gore
breakers.
type of, but without all that bouncing around, because Frank Gore bounced around with a couple teams. I think he stays solid with maybe 3 tops 4 teams in his whole career. I say he plays maybe 16, 17 years, but
Wow.
I'm telling you, this kid's gonna be fucking phenomenal.
That's really uplifting to hear as somebody that's a Jets fan. However, I would only rebuttal that I don't think you know how to know who those guys are going to be. Because to me, I thought, for example, like I knew Reggie Bush wasn't going to be that guy, but I've thought that about so many people as far as thinking, oh, this guy's going to be around forever. And even with guys like LaDainian Tomlinson, it just kind of ran out. Sean Alexander, 5 of the best years I've ever seen as a running back. Then it was done. Clinton Portis went from one of the best ever to, yeah, he's fine. He's on a team.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's so hard. I mean,
in a running back.
The second tier quarterbacks, and it's weird that so I rate them like there's the first contract a running back, and then there's a second contract running back. Like, there's very few running backs that go from that rookie deal, that first 4 or 5 years, that go into their next 4 or 5 years where they live up to that contract that they got. Like, very few. And there's even fewer that surpass that and become like some all-time legends. But even at that, when by the time they become all-time legends, your career has already passed you. Like, where you made your stable point already had passed you. So now you're kind of stat padding because you're producing, but you're not getting injured.
No, Frank Gore had that. Frank Gore had it where by the time people were like, oh shit, you are really having a career, he was already done. And that's another piece to it, because you can't just look at it like, okay, youthful success versus the rest of the career. If it all pans out, you'll still be top 10 all time. That it doesn't really work that way. Like, if Mahomes dies out right now and he doesn't throw for shit else for the rest of his career, nobody's going to remember him. We only know that Patrick Mahomes is going to be one of the best all time when it's all said and done, because he keeps doing it. That's the only reason. If it wasn't for that, we would have no clue. We would be looking at him like, it's Gus Farad, you know?
And it's so much harder with running backs. I mean, which is why it makes it so much greater. When you see guys like Curtis Martin, AP, Emmitt Smith,
Jamal Lewis. What? Jamal Lewis is running all over people for a long time.
He's not. I'm over here naming top 10 running backs. You're over here naming.
Sorry, I grabbed a random name from the 2000s who was very successful and happened to come in second all time, or third all time rather, in yards in a season.
A season don't matter. I'm talking about all time. I could give a fuck if you could have the greatest season that's ever lived. Where is your career? Where is your career?
I didn't know Jamal was going to piss you off so bad, Hector.
I named greats. You don't put that name over there with greats.
All right. I'm sorry. We'll go LT. You said Curtis Martin.
I'll
Who
put
else we
LT
got?
up there. LT's one of the greats as a running back. I'd give him that.
Yeah, I would too. That's what I'm saying. Let's get back on track. Let's talk about guys that we really love there. So we're going to talk about
You
them.
know
We're going
what?
to talk
I'd
about
even
Barry
put
Sanders.
Alexander, Sean Alexander, only because he held the all-time, like at that moment, 36 rushing TDs in a season. That's fucking absurd.
I think it was just 28, but
No, wait, I think it was total. I think 36 was total. Total
I
TDs.
I think it was less than that, but it was the record at the time. So I'll give it that. LT broke it literally the next year. He got one more, but I think it was 28 and 29, not 36 and 37.
There was some
But
shit like that. It was still great. Like, still, for a running, like, that's wild.
oh yeah, I mean Hector, the only actual football jersey that I own is a Sean Alexander jersey. It's my boy. I love that dude. I used to, when I was a child, I would go out in it and I would flap the wings in the hurricane because it would just pick me up and move me somewhere, and I felt like I was flying.
But then
So-
again, Sean Alexander is a great season, but not an all-time 10 back.
No, oh no. I would not put him I would not say top 10 all time. You'd have Jim Brown there, even though I still there's times when people argue
Jim
him,
Brown's
and I'm
been
like,
falling off that list.
yeah, but that's just it. Jim Brown at this point, yes, he was great in his time. Now I'm not sure. What Walter Payton was better, Emmitt Smith was better. Like you could make the argument that like Edgerrin James was better. There are so many guys that just had really good careers for a much longer period of time. And I don't want to hear about he did football and lacrosse. It's like, well, we're not talking about lacrosse. We're talking about fucking football.
You know what's crazy is that as the generations go on, you know, at one point, Jim Brown was the greatest running back of all time. And
He's
then a
the
few
greatest
years
ever.
later, you know, fucking Walter Payton's the greatest running back of all time. And then a few years later, you
Emmitt
know,
Smith.
fucking Emmitt Smith is the running back, the greatest running back of all time. It's like every year there's gonna be a new greatest running back or wide receiver or QB. I think at this point it's solidified. Greatest QB of all time might just be Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's not going to change.
But besides that, every other position is pretty much up for fucking grabs.
Yeah, I will still like I will go to a bar and I will legitimately debate with people Randy Moss over Jerry Rice, even though I realize the greatness of Jerry Rice. Nobody could do the shit that Randy Moss could do. And I will sit here
very
and tell
close. I put
everybody
it as a 1A, 1B situation.
I do too. And like my boy John will try to throw in T.O. and I'm like, nope, get him out of here.
T.O. is 2A.
Yeah, at best. Like I
T.O.
would put
is
him in the
2A.
category
1A
of, like,
and
Marvin
1B
Harrison.
is Rice and Moss. 2A is Owens.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. Terrell Owens, great receiver. He doesn't belong in the conversation with Jerry Rice and Randy Moss. Those guys are on their own league. And I'd even say that Calvin Johnson might be ahead of those guys.
I would put Calvin Johnson in the 2A, 2B category.
Okay, so we can argue him against Terrell Owens. Like that's fine.
Yep.
I'll take Calvin Johnson. Anybody in the world can have Terrell Owens.
And that's only because we've only seen 8 years out of Calvin Johnson. We did not see the best. We saw great out of Calvin Johnson. I don't think we saw the greatest of all time out of Calvin Johnson.
No, but I think that dude could still come in right now and be one of the best receivers in the NFL. And that's fine if you're not with me on that. I get it because he hasn't played in a while.
He could be 75 years old, and I think he will fucking destroy any fucking secondary out there.
Not yours. Not yours. Sauce Gardner's got him, man.
Gardner's locking that bitch down. No.
Yo, I am so happy about that. I remember draft day. We all got together. We hung out, and then you guys took Sauce Gardner. You and Zach were real happy about it, and I was like, God, I hope it pans out for him.
So let me see if you a little pop quick. What was what was it that I said to you when we got Sauce Gardner?
He's going to be the best corner in the league year one.
Oh, close. Yes, I did say that. First of all, yes, I did say that. I will second that. But there was a specific saying that I said.
I don't think I'm going to get this one, Hector. Just go ahead and tell me.
He is Darrelle Revis 2.0.
Yep, you did. You did say that. Fuck. And you know what? He is. And I think the best example that I have of that, there was a pass, and it's not hitting me who the receiver was right now, but there was a pass that was hit dead spot on right in the receiver's hands. Sauce came over the top and just whoop, put that shit out, and it took no effort. And I said to myself, I was like, that's the best corner in the NFL.
I started knowing the greatness of Sauce Gardner in this matchup with Aaron Rodgers. Yes, I get it. It's rookies. I mean, not rookies, but like Aaron Rodgers doesn't have the connection to the receivers, and he doesn't have Devontae Adams. But it's still Aaron Rodgers, so he's putting pinpoint accuracy in his throws.
Yes,
and he's throwing crazy route runnings. And you can't shun some of the route running from the Green Bay Packers. They run routes very well. Sauce Gardner got hit with every type of juke, double route, triple route, ins and outs, ups and downs. The man did not flinch. He does not flinch. And what makes me remember him and reminds me of Darrelle Revis is when you see the slow down plays of some of these breakups. He doesn't overanalyze and just look at the QB. He doesn't gun for it and go for the pick. His hips are locked onto the receiver. His head is locked on to the eyes of the receiver. And he doesn't break his hips until the receiver breaks his final move. And he doesn't turn his head to the ball until the receiver's eyes look at the ball. And he still doesn't go for the pick.
But I do agree with you that Sauce Gardner he's on a different level than everybody else right now. And he is legitimately just waiting for the point of the ball coming to the hands of the receiver. He is not doing anything to change his motion beyond whatever the receiver is going to do. And it's something that we have not seen in a little while. We saw Richard Sherman. We saw Darrelle Revis. We saw before that maybe Champ Bailey was probably the last one that was really that kind of good.
I tell you right now, Defensive Rookie of the Year is between two people. And it's between two teams that are in this chat right now. You got Sauce Gardner, who is living up to his hype as a number one draft pick CB. And then you got Tariq Wilson. I keep saying his fucking last name wrong. Woolen?
Woolen. Tariq
Woolen. I keep saying Wilson. Woolen, which I saw a great stat. I should have screenshotted it. I should have sent it to you. I don't know if I did. It's been exactly 10 years since Richard Sherman has been drafted and put on that team. 2011 was his rookie season. His rookie season, he through the same 6 games has put up the same numbers as Tariq Woolen.
No way, really? I didn't know.
Same 6 games. He, in his rookie season, has put up the same exact numbers.
Oh, that gets me way too excited. Dude, the thing is, I literally came into the season ready to tank, and this team's doing so well with the roster that they have built that I'm like, fuck, at this point, like, I'm just going to hope the Broncos suck.
If the
like,
Jets
I
have a Revis 2.0, you guys have a Richard Sherman 2.0.
Oh, and you know what? In all seriousness, Quandre Diggs, one of our safeties, he's a better ball hawk than Earl Thomas ever was. He doesn't have all the other skills that Earl Thomas did, but he can go get the ball. We don't have a
you know what? I give you a one-up on is that, I love that we stole DJ Reed from you. and he's still relatively young at like 27 years old. But you complimented your rookie with a rookie. You got Kobe White, who's going to be around for a long time.
Yo, his name's Kobe Bryant, the same as the basketball player.
I keep saying Kobe White. Why?
I noticed that. You did that the other night when we
Every
were just doing
single
a
time I
chat.
say Kobe White.
Yeah, we got him too, and he's really good too. He still has some shit to work through as far as like getting it really down, but he's really good. I think that we have ourselves a secondary, and so do you guys. This is weird. I did not think that 6 weeks into the year I'd be sitting here talking with Hector and we both feeling good about our teams. I was sure my team was shit. I thought we were going to be 3-14. We're 3-3, and honestly, I mean, I really thought the Jets were going to be about 6-11, and it's not. Or 6-11.
I was like, I had a little bit more confidence in my team than you did yours, but we both had them like, all right, like
under 500.
We're underperforming. We're making progression. We're gonna get there. But I will say the Jets, like me and Zach, were a lot more confident enough making the playoffs. And you were on way more of a trajectory of like, fuck, what are we doing? This is a rebuild. So I would say this is way more of an uplift for the Seahawks. Like, for the Jets, we were contemplating, okay, in the next 2 years, we might make the playoffs. But for the Seahawks, you're over here thinking you're about to tank. And shit, if you win like 2 more games, you're talking wild card spot at least.
I like the idea of being a wild card at 5-12.
No, I don't see that happening. I'm telling you right now, I've looked at the Seahawks schedule as well. They're right in the middle of the pack, or like around the Jets. I think the Jets' schedule strength is like 13th, and the Seahawks is like 17th. You guys are smack the middle in the pack, and I think if I'm correct, the strongest part of both schedules are the front end. So we're walking into almost 2 of the easiest back end schedules of the season.
That actually, see, here's the thing, Hector, because I was ready. You know this. I was ready to tank going into this year, and now I'm sitting here 3-3, and I'm looking at the rest of the schedule, and I'm like, fuck. I think I have to root for my team again, even though, like, I don't feel great about Super Bowl aspirations, but I'm like, well, I mean, what am I going to do? Root against them? Like, I actually think we're legitimately not that bad.
Aren't you guys guaranteed a first, like, top 15 first round pick through trade?
It wasn't guaranteed first 15. We just get whatever Denver finishes up at. And
okay.
They also might just fuck it up enough for us.
I was going to say, so you get
20 points.
Denver's going to be a fucking garbage. So you're going to get a top, 10 pick?
Yeah, like at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm rooting for Denver
plus a fucking middle of the pack pick in the first round.
Yeah. So I'll still get one of those kids that I wanted at quarterback. And then, granted, I know Geno Smith's been really cool, but like seriously, we gotta get
Geno's ride is over. Do what the Jets did. I mean, not like the Jets did, but it's amazing that he lasted this long. But ride the wave of the season and dump it while it's hot. Dump it like it's like that hot girl that you know is gonna end up being a whore and gonna catch chlamydia, like, and all that shit. Like, yo, just dump it while it's hot. Just dump it.
You know, the first 47 minutes of this went smooth, and then Hector became Hector, and he said what he said.
Yeah. No. You don't want them nasty bitches. You ain't trying to catch nothing. Dump it while it's hot, and just move on.
No, you know what? I am with you there. And actually, Hector, as I see where we're at as far as the timing standpoint goes, I am going to go ahead and say, let's get this to the end here. Hector, it's actually been a real pleasure spending some time with you. I don't get to do this with you for this long very often.
I love the Kobe Hector connection.
Yeah, I do too. I think this actually really works. And like, I don't know that the Breaking Down the Tape audience knows this, but like Hector is my boy. I don't always agree with
Kobe's
everything.
coming to the wedding.
What's that?
Kobe's coming to the wedding.
Oh, that's right. I'm going to Hector's wedding. Wow, God, fuck. I gotta get on a plane.
I know you got a lot of weddings. I know you forgot.
No, it's on the front of my fridge now. You know that.
Oh, you kicked the little kid out.
What's that?
You kicked the little kid out.
Yeah, I kicked the kid out. We got you on the front of the fridge now. But Hector, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you very much for hanging out. And ladies and gentlemen of the audience, as always, this has been. Hey, no, you give me the end line. It's nobody is shiftier.
I said what I said. This is the shiftiest of hippos.
That's what I'm talking about.